Hello and welcome to the channel. This is the next wrap up video for this series. Today we will be working with the Chaos faction. I explained how this works in the last video, so let's get to this right here. So, the Chaos faction is a group led by Vampire Lord and his adopted brother, Cyber Joker, to start pure chaos with the help of their 3 bodyguards. And let me clarify with this, they aren't villains, they're superheroes. But I'll go more into that when I go into their leader. They get around via a shady black carriage that departs from their secret base that only they know about. And their role in the hero society is to in this group of heroes is to do the spying and dirty work of the ex-heroes that the other more noble ones or noble characters wouldn't really be down for doing. Okay. The first one we're gonna go over is Vampire Lord, the leader of the Chaos faction and a weapons user. The story is that this is a age-old vampire born from the adolescent god's pure chaotic magical power. Now, this is where I'm gonna clarify a little bit. So, due to the fact that he's a magical being, 90% made up of magic. The other 10% is a flesh body with blood inside, which that I'll go into. This into his magic abilities. His skill is rapid blood arts. Just think like Nezuko's from Demon Slayer type stuff. And as for why he like, and also for reference, every leader in this group of this army of group of heroes have a connection to the adolescent god in some way, shape, or form. All right. But yeah. So how his skill works is more like he pokes and produces blood from his body, and one drop of blood can power his weapon. And his weapon becomes much more powerful with the applied blood to the tip of the blade. Because he uses a rapier, he uses a fast, steady fighting style. And I kind of gave him the look of a matador because, well, I thought that the whole matador rapier user, nice cool boots type look would go great with his character. Okay, and next we have where are you? Here we go. Cyber Joker, a tech character that is the vice captain of the Chaos faction. He is a doll, a android doll raised alongside Vampire Lord, so that Vampire Lord isn't just parentless. He grew up having close family ties. And I say that because honestly, I believe because Vampire Lord would essentially become, I forgot to say it in his part, but he becomes the Dracula of this story, the progenitor of all future vampires in this lore. And his weapon is the crushing arm. The way he fights is so different than it's like he just swings around his big heavy arm and like can lift a lot of weight. So he lift up boulders and stuff with his other arm. The rest of his body is just for show. The most dangerous part of him is his robotic arm, really. And since he is a doll, he has joints under that flesh muscle. He's both a doll, human, android type deal. So he's man-made with like applied flesh to the top of his skeletal system. Yeah, that's the best way to put it. I don't really know how to describe him properly. And I'm the one who made it. That's crazy. Anyway. Next, we have X-Hero Wicked Wonder, a magic user, and a Chaos faction member. And this is where we get into the 3 bodyguards. So first we have this one. He is the hired wizard and sometimes the hired hitman if needed. As you can see, there's a dagger that comes from the bottom of his wand for easy assassinations. And his power, he has a power. His power is the cloning illusion magic arts. Just think of a more magical used version of Naruto's Shadow Clone no Jutsu, but he can do it to anybody in his sight, meaning if all five of his team is in the one room, he can just make as many clones of each one as possible, confusing anyone that walks into the room to figure out who's the real ones, give them time to escape during missions, or for assassin reasons, if he wants to confuse the person that needs to be taken down, he can make a bunch of clones of himself, and they can all attack at once, and the main one will get the final draw of blood. Next, we have X-Hero Sloth King, a melee user, a melee type fighter, a Chaos faction type. And he is the hired muscle and sometimes tracker / scout. So he plays a vital role with tracking down enemies and or people that need to be taken out by the group. And he's just strongman 101 when it comes to everything about him. all but his dog-like features. And yeah, this man is mostly modeled after a show after Wild Mutt from Ben 10. Even before, if you saw the other video with these guys, his previous form was also based off Wild Mutt. So yeah, he has a strong sense of smell due to that reason as well. But his skill is all stat / boost enhancement, meaning he can increase his durability, strength, speed, whatever you want to put it as. And also he can do that to other members, that other people he sees as allies. Meaning if Vampire Lord needed any more of those stats boosted, he could just boost those for him. Same thing goes for the skills. If anyone has a skill, he can boost. And since his is also a skill, he can boost his own. He can boost his own and Vampire Lord's if needed, because the other two use weapon and powers, so they can't really use that part of his ability. They can only use the stats part of his boosting ability for the other two that aren't Vampire Lord and himself. Next. Okay. The most powerful and technically the leader of the bodyguards, just the bodyguards, is Shadow Dragon. I didn't write this down on his character sheet, but he's very much akin. I designed him after a samurai. My version of a samurai. I'm not gonna hit on all the details that make a samurai because I want to make him wholly unique to my universe. This one is a different one. It is a magic and weapons user, the only one with 2 types of fighting styles. The last Chaos faction member, and just straight up a killer for hire from the east. And this one has a powers and a weapon. All those eyes in its illustration, the eyes on it, the 4 eyes on his sword, and the wild eye on the blue and orange eye on his face, with the black mark under it, all have the ability Ghost. The eye on, more specifically, the eye on his face can see souls, while the 4 eyes on his sword can see ghosts. And as for the weapon is called Cursed Blade of Sin. And that's where the eyes on his sword's ability to see ghosts comes into play, because of the fact that this has the ability to also just kill ghosts and undeads, meaning he can kill both the living and non-living equally, making him a very dangerous character to fight against. And on top of that, since he does not have a skill, the character from before, Sloth King, cannot use his skill boosting ability, but he still can use his stat boosting ability. So on top of being able to see ghosts and souls, if he needs it, Sloth King could boost his strength, his speed, or his intelligence for a temporary amount of time. That was all of the Chaos faction members and the second part of the wrap-up videos. Hope you like this video. Like, comment, or subscribe. Yada yada. Thank you for watching. Have yourselves a wonderful day. Peace.